One stop. One stop. One stop science shop. Hello and welcome to the amazing one-stop science shop, the place for curious minds to ask all your science-related questions. We got a question already. Sohee writes in from South Korea.
How can we prove that plants and flowers drink water?
That's an interesting question. I'm gonna come back in a minute and show you with an experiment. To prove that flowers drink water, here's an experiment. And for that, these are the things you need. A cutter, cloth speck, a dropper, food coloring in red and blue, empty glasses, water, and white flour. First of all, since I have two colors, I'm gonna fill 2 empty glasses with water. I have the food colorant. I'm using red and blue, but you can go ahead and use any other color you want. Well, tissues, keep them handy. The darker your solution, the better the effect. Blue in the other glass. Now I'm gonna take my flower and make a slit lengthwise along the entire stem. Now since I have 2 glasses and 2 colors, I'm gonna make only 2 slits. So make sure that you get a clean slit without breaking it off. Now I'm gonna put them one part of the stem in each glass and use a cloth speck. Now we have to put this away and let it rest for at least 12 hours, preferably in a place with lots of sunlight, and we'll see what happens. This is how it looks like in about 12 hours. If you look closely at the petals, you see that the color has changed. On the same stem, you have flowers which are slightly bluish and some that are slightly pinkish. So why has the color changed? Well, we know that there is water present in the flower stem. This water evaporates from the leaves and flowers through openings called stomata. This process is called transpiration. The transpiration rate is dependent on many factors. For example, the size of the flower, the number of stomata on the petals, and the amount of sunlight available. That's why I asked you to put the jar in sunlight. As the water evaporates from flowers and leaves, the stem drinks more water from the jar through straw-like structures called xylem. If we color the water, the flowers drink it up from the bottom of the stem all the way up to the petals of the flower. So in this case, different colors from separate jars get to the petals. You can go and make your own rainbow-colored flowers and also prove that flowers drink water at home. Have a look at what you need.
Cloth speck, a white flower, a dropper, cutter, food colorants, and glasses.
That turned out to be a very colorful answer. I'm excited to try with other colors too. I see we have a curious mind knocking on our doors. Let's find out who's come to visit us.
Wow, nice place.
Hello there.
Hi.
Welcome to the One-Stop Science Shop. I am Mercy. What's your name?
I'm Prisha.
What brings you here today?
Well, this friend of mine is always plucking flowers and leaves from trees. How do I get a good scientific argument to tell my friend that she's wrong?
Well, you can tell her about the crescograph.
The crescograph?
Let me tell you more about it.
This is JC Bose. JC stands for Jagdish Chandra. He was born in 1858 in a small village called Mymensingh, which is in present-day Bangladesh. Bose was an amazing polymath, a physicist, a biologist, a biophysicist, a botanist, an archaeologist, as well as an early writer of science fiction. Bose's parents chose to send him to the local Bengali school rather than the more aristocratic and academic English one. And this atypical behavior meant he went to school with the local fishermen and farmers' children. However, Bose later recalled that it was listening to the stories of birds, animals, and aquatic creatures from his classmates that first inspired him to become interested in nature. After graduating from universities in Kolkata and Cambridge, Bose's initial focus was researching into microwaves, but later on, he started pioneering studies into the nature of plants. He discovered that similar to us humans, plants also react to various stimuli like injuries, temperature, and hunger. From his analysis of the variation of the cell membrane potential of plants under different circumstances, he hypothesized that plants can feel pain and even react to affection. During his research, Bose invented a device called a crescograph. It uses a series of clockwork gears and a smoked glass plate to record the movement of the tip of a plant or its roots at magnifications of up to 10,000 times. Marks are made on the plate at intervals of a few seconds, demonstrating how the rate of growth varies under varying stimuli. Bose experimented with temperature, chemicals, gases, and electricity. To prove his theories, Bose used to conduct public demonstrations to show that plants would react to stimuli in the same way as humans would. Bose invented many things before he died in 1937, including famously wireless telecommunications. But his work on plants pioneered a new understanding in the sphere of the natural sciences. He loved studying plants and their impact on our environment. And when you think about it, his science fiction was also published on plants and trees.
Wow, nice guy, Mr. Bose. Who knew that plants respond to stimuli like we do? Mercy, how exactly do plants make their own food?
There's this process called photosynthesis. Well, photo means light. What plants do is they absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and in the presence of sunlight, along with water, they form carbohydrates. And these carbohydrates are then stored in the form of starch and glucose.
Yes, plants take in CO2 and give out oxygen. They clean the air around us.
Absolutely. That's why we have to tell everyone to plant more trees.
But Mercy, how exactly does photosynthesis happen?
Let me show you through an experiment. Let's have a look at what I got in my one-stop science box.
A hammer. A test tube in a jar. Ethanol.
Iodine.
Iodine.
Droppers.
Droppers. A clear file and tweezers. Paper and
It's a skewer.
a skewer. A white plate.
Jar of hot water, be careful.
There we go.
Leaf covered in foil for a day.
And the leaf.
Let me get this out of the way.
First, we will take the leaf covered in foil for a day.
Now I'm gonna remove the foil and put the leaf between two paper sheets. Put it in the file and gently hammer it to flatten out the leaf. Be careful when you're doing this at home. You want to flatten the leaves, not your fingers.
Ouch. Let's check. I think it's done.
It looks nice and flat and ready for the next step.
Yeah.
Now we need some hot water, so be very careful. You're gonna put the leaf in the hot water.
Yeah.
We're boiling the leaf so that the cell membrane breaks down and it will release the chlorophyll in the next step and eventually absorb iodine.
Oh.
Wait and watch. Prisha, now I want you to take some ethanol in the test tube.
Okay. And there's the last drop.
Now we're gonna put our leaf inside
in
that.
the ethanol.
Now we're gonna put the test tube with the ethanol and the leaf in very hot boiling water. When the ethanol boils, the leaf is gonna lose out the chlorophyll and it's gonna turn white from green.
This is so exciting. We've never done this in school.
That's why we have the one-stop science shop.
Wow, this is so nice and green.
The ethanol after boiling has extracted all the chlorophyll from the leaf. That's why we have the green solution now.
Wow.
Now we're gonna drain off the liquid. We're gonna wash our leaf nice and proper.
Yes.
At this stage, the cell membranes of the leaf have been broken down, the chlorophyll has been released, and we're ready to test it for starch.
Spread it out.
Right, I'm just draining it.
Wow, it's looking so different.
Now we're gonna drop iodine on our leaf. Now when we drop iodine, the area where the starch has accumulated becomes blue. Prisha, can you see the two different colors in the leaf?
Yeah, one is darker and one is lighter.
The dark part is where the photosynthesis happened, so there's a lot more starch.
And the lighter part is where photosynthesis didn't happen.
Right, because we covered it with foil.
Foil.
We know that starch is made in the leaf by photosynthesis, and starch becomes blue or purple when it reacts with iodine. So we found out that there were different amounts of starch in the leaf. So that's how plants make their food.
Imagine if we could make our own food like that.
That would be quite something else.
I know.
Well, here's something you can do at home. Try this experiment and have a look at what you need.
A hammer, test tube and jar, ethanol, iodine, dropper, a clear file, tweezers, paper, skewer, a white plate, a jug of hot water, a leaf covered in foil for a day.
Thank you so much, Prisha. I hope you had fun.
Yes, I had loads of fun.
Thank you again for joining us. That's all we have for you today. Hope to see you again so that I can try and answer all your science-related questions at the One Stop Science Shop.